Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing a Surviving R. Kelly documentary series that aired on Lifetime this past weekend. That's what we're about to get into right now. Obviously you already knew that according to the title. Before we get into this video, I would like for you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you share this video so that everyone can get the inside scoop on my opinions about this very controversial video. I was gonna do something, but I'm gonna wait till later. It's okay. So I was gonna go back over and rewatch the entire series over again because there were multiple women, different music producers, assistants, his different employees, different, people in the industry in terms of other entertainers, such as those of the likes of John Legend and things like that, who had a lot of commentary. There are some of the parents of some of the young ladies who have been making accusations against R. Kelly in this documentary series, and I literally wanted to try to go and do a response to like every single scenario. But I'm really just gonna do a really basic, really simple review of this documentary because a lot of light was shed on R. Kelly, the artist, versus Robert the man. And a lot of different perspectives have been stated by those that shared in the documentary, but not only that, the community of his fans. And so instead of me going for 4 or 5 hours line by line, we're just gonna group things and go from there. So to start, we're gonna begin all the way back in the beginning, starting with his first allegations of the sexual abuse and sleeping with minor children, and it goes back to the 14-year-old that the weather video got leaked, which, come to find out, if you didn't already know, was one of his other singers who he was working with by the name of Sparkle. It was her niece. Sparkle also made an appearance in the documentary as well. So long story short, he met the 14-year-old, did the sex tape with her, and the way that he met her was because he was working with Sparkle. Sparkle supposedly or allegedly knew that her niece was into rapping, and so she introduced R. Kelly to the niece. And from that point on, supposedly Sparkle was always there with her. One time Sparkle got to the studio and the niece was already there without her knowledge. Come to find out, allegedly, the parents had dropped her off and she was supposedly going to be there with other children. So at that point, she was with R. Kelly by themselves. Fast forward, he did the sex tape with her where another young lady, who at this point, from my understanding, was now an consenting adult, who had also performed sexual acts on this young 14-year-old. And pretty much all of the scenarios lined up like that. For the most part, he was meeting these girls at 14, 15, 16, 17, and it would start off in general as, okay, I want to be a singer, or I want to be a dancer, or I like, whatever it is, and it goes from that to, okay, I'm going to be your mentor, or I'm going to be your producer, or I'm going to, give you this and that opportunity. And then it led to sexual innuendos and behaviors and things of that. One of the young ladies he also met when she was 16 at his trial for Sparkle's niece trial for that allegation, ended up having sex with her. She dealt with him for 6 months while she was 16 years old, also having sexual intercourse with him. And it was pretty much, again, it just lined up. Another scenario was when a female met him by the name of Dominique, if I'm not mistaken. Her mom also appeared in this documentary, and she talked about not having her daughter for years, not seeing her daughter for years. He had actually had this young Dominique girl in the beginning. She was about, I think, 14 or 15 when he met her. Oh no, she was 17, I'm sorry, when he met her. Her mom talked to R. Kelly and said, "You're not going to be talking to my daughter, you're not going to be dealing with her." Allegedly, she was supposed to have stopped talking to R. Kelly. She came back and was telling her mom over the course of the 3 years she had still been dealing with him, and at this point it was nothing her mom was going to be able to do because she was of age, and that she just went off and went with R. Kelly. And then her mom hadn't seen her. She said she had been dealing with him for on and off for over a span of like 9 years. Started out when she was underage as well. Then another family came on and said that he met their daughter when she was 17, pulled her out of the crowd, and supposedly was going to be a mentor for her. She allegedly ended up having sex with him on the first time she met him, and you know, she was hiding that from her parents, and then eventually they came up with some agreement that she would be going on tour with him, and there was going to be a chaperone that was a female that would be with her, and all of these different things. Long story short, he ended up having sex with her. She got welcomed into the house. There he had this big house of all of these different women, but it wasn't even just young women. He met women at 33 and 35 and 37, and allegedly was having a relationship with these women for a year or two or however long, and they eventually became part of the sex slave shop, whatever they wanted to call it, either whether they were in the Atlanta house or whether they were in the Chicago location. It was just an array of wild, crazy, unbelievable situations. It's just honestly too much to cover, especially when parents are at this point looking for their children, or their grown children at this point, and they're allegedly being held against their will. They're being made to urinate in cans and rooms, and they have to ask them to when they can eat food and when they can wash up, and they're being made to call him daddy, blah 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 blah. The entire time his staff is protecting him and enabling this behavior. They're not putting the parents through to phone calls to talk to their daughters. They're, lying to him about articles that's being put out for him because he is unable to read, so he's not really knowing what's going on. And they're going out and finding the women. One of the producers said that it's just what they did. If he said he wanted this young lady and she had to look like this and look like that and do this and do that, they went out and they found girls that was going to do that for him. And it's just like all of these people were enabling him in these decisions and in this behavior. And the meat of my review for this is going to cover a couple things. One, the fact that R. Kelly is most definitely sick. I said this going back to 2000 when he was on trial for Sparkle's niece. These parents are crazy as hell, if you ask me, because there's no way I'm going to let my 17 or 16-year-old daughter go to a studio session with R. Kelly and I'm not there, period. They're not going to come and tell me, oh, well, if you don't, you messing up my career, and if you don't do this, threatening me. No, there's no way it's going to happen. Third of all of these people that's coming out now saying that, oh, well, I will go in the room. One of the managers said this, or the producers, one of them said I would go in the room and there would be all these different girls locked up, and I thought it was wrong. Why you didn't say nothing back then? Same thing with Sparkle. I really felt like Sparkle's testimony was very, very authentic, but at the same time, you knew when you saw that tape originally of your niece when it first came out that there was your niece. Why would you not go to the police with that? Whether you was trying to protect your family or not, you knew that that was her, and you knew how old she was. Why wouldn't you say something then? You waited all the way until 8 years later, after the tape was released, when they finally put him in court on trial for this, to say that's my niece. Why would you? If I knew my niece, 14-year-old niece, was being raped, I don't care who she was being raped back, because that's what it is. Whether you want to say she consented for it or not, I'm going to the police. I don't care who was paid off, none of that. I ain't paid, and even if I was paid, I'm still going to the police with this. And that's my thing. My problem is with how can people allow for this type of behavior to go on for this long. And it's interesting because, like I mentioned, I do honestly feel like R. Kelly needs help. Like, and he did mention that he was molested twice. His brothers mentioned it and things of that nature. And then there was also that syndrome of, back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot, I can get whoever I want, because he was really neglected by women, that he was interested in early on. And so once he got that power and things like that, he preyed on younger women. And I understand that mentally, he needed some things to be taken care of, and he needed some professional attention. But at the same time, I still feel like he should be held accountable for what he has done to these young children and women you know, as a grown man, period. It's no, it's nothing you can say about that, period. And the problem I have is that I know people personally who grew up back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, where to them that was the norm. And that's just what happened, where girls would be 15 to 16 talking to 27 to 28-year-olds and 30-year-olds. And, you know, it was just a thing to do. So a lot of people, a lot of women who I know, and I'm just speaking from people who I know in my life in particular, have been in support of him, because it's just like, no, well, back then they was getting that money. They mamas was getting a check, and they was getting dresses, and they was being, you know, in videos, and they was getting all of these opportunities. So back when he was doing whatever he was doing, no matter what age they were, they was benefiting from it. So when nobody's saying nothing, and that may very well be true, and that's a very compelling argument. But at the same time, just because that was the norm, or that was what people were just doing back then, that does not make it right. I use the analogy that people were enslaved. Slavery existed. That don't mean it was right. It was the norm back then, but that don't mean it was right. And no matter who you are, whether it's R. Kelly and he's this mega superstar, he's super talented, this, that, and the third, or it's the average Joe, or your uncle, or your auntie, or your granddaddy, or your daddy, mother, whoever it is, if they preying on young little girls like that, and boys too nowadays, it's a problem. Period, point blank. And I feel like everybody that was involved back then, whether it was R. Kelly, whether it was his security guards, whether it was the managers, the producers, the assistants at the front desk answering the phones, all them people knew what was going on, and wasn't nobody saying nothing. And if you're gonna prosecute him, which he should be, I've always said that he should have some repercussions to his actions and what he done in this situation with these little girls. If you're gonna prosecute him, prosecute them too. Because they was sitting there the whole time watching this stuff go on, and wasn't nobody saying nothing. And that's what kills me the most. How can you sit there and watch this? How can you sit there and know that this stuff is going on, and it's still going on to this day? Some of those entries in that documentary was from as early as May of 2018. It ain't even been a whole year, and he's still adding people to the collection. It's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I love R. Kelly as an artist. I love his music. He's talented and it's good music, and I love music. I got the tattoos on me to show it. It's just who I am. But I will not stand here and support knowing that that is what he was doing to them girls. Period, point blank. It's just not gonna happen. I said, like I said back in the day, he should have been arrested, or something should have been happening to him for the things he was doing with them young girls. And that's any man, any woman of age that's having sex with a child that's underage. Period. And then now he done flipped the script, because at this point, he's now dealing with girls that's 17. And because in Illinois, the state of Illinois, where I live, 17 is the legal age to consent. So at this point, he getting them at 17 and molding them into whatever he want them to be. And it's like they're still wrong. These girls ain't barely lived life. They don't know nothing about nothing. Ain't experienced not much of nothing. And you taking their innocence away because you are Kelly and you got the ability and the power and the say so to do that. It's a problem. And where are these parents? I know that a couple of the parents on there, they were really genuinely trying to help their daughters, and they wanted to see, you know, what can go on with their careers, and now they out searching for their children. But me, honestly, after knowing his track record, and a lot of them kept saying, well, when he had the trial, he wasn't found guilty, and this, that, and the third, so I didn't really think nothing was wrong. And plus, I was there with my daughter when she met him, and blah, blah, blah. You're never there with your child 24/7. Period. You're not in no matter whether or not he was found guilty. You saw the tape. Everybody saw that tape back then. You know that you see him in that tape doing that to that girl, whether the court found him guilty or not. They didn't find him guilty back then because the girl said it wasn't her, and the parents said it wasn't her, and that was it. They didn't have no evidence other than that tape no one else was saying that he did that, so that's why they didn't find him guilty. I don't care nobody if the girl herself said it wasn't her. If I'm looking at you in the flesh and I'm looking at you on this video and I see it's you, they paid y'all, he going to jail. That's me personally. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, as a parent today in 2019, I would not be like, oh, okay, yeah, R. Kelly got you because he a beast and he from the Shad and I'm from the Shad and I want my child to go be a star, so here you go, get her. No, it's not gonna happen. And at the end of the day, there's no way possible as a parent for you to be there with your child 24/7 days a week unless you quit your normal job and your job becomes to be your child's manager. And even at that point, even if you're traveling with them everywhere, you ain't with them every second of the day. It's just not gonna happen. It's not. So you have to protect your children. And there's no amount of money, there's no amount of fame, there's no amount of opportunity that is worth my child's life and innocence. Because at this point, these kids ain't even themselves no more. A lot of these families got on there and said, I need to even identify this person, and you know that he controlling them because this ain't like them, and they don't even know who they dealing with at this point. They don't even know who they dealing with at this point. They can't even identify and recognize their kids. That's crazy. It's just really, really appalling and sad and ridiculous and unbelievable, unexplainable. It's just crazy. And then people want to critique this wife for saying, oh my God, she mad because them checks stopping this. Them people got on there and poured their hearts out. She walked away from him, signed her rights away to everything she could have got from him as a wife, remarried, did all that, took the kids. But at this point, and R. Kelly ain't got no money right now today. He spending all his money on lawyers. What do this wife, what do these victims have to gain at this point for coming forward on him? What do they have to gain? Yes, he a legend. Yes, he is an icon in music and in entertainment. But at the end of the day, he's a predator, whether you want to say it or not. And like I said, I love his voice. I love his talent. I love the fact that he was able to make something out of nothing. He came from nothing, and he was uneducated. He all of that, and he made something of his life, and I commend him and I applaud him for that. But I would never uphold him in sexually and physically, mentally, emotionally abusing these girls. It's not gonna happen. I don't care how many hits you had and how much money you got. He wrong. He's wrong. And I've been said he was wrong. And I ain't getting no money from it. I'm just keeping it real. He wrong. And all them people that was around him and so in enabling that behavior, they just as motherfucking wrong. If you ask me, get them all. But I know this was kind of brief. I probably missed some stuff. I ain't even touch on Aaliyah. But that's just another example. Aaliyah, he got married to her, and then the mother gonna sit up here because the girls was talking and mentioning that they saw him having sex with her in the trailer, and you know, this and on the tour bus, all this, that, and the third. No, they didn't. They lying, and they ain't finna talk about my daughter like that and tarnish her legacy and this woo wop the bam. And I know because I was there with her all the time when she was with R. Kelly. The lies, the lies, the lies in my Kandi Burruss voice. Because if you was with that girl every time she was with R. Kelly, where was you at when she lied and said she was 18 and they went and got married? Because Bad Magazine posted the marriage certificate showing that she was allegedly 18 when the whole time she was 15. And I know because her and my sister's the same age. So, come on now. Where was you at then? You ain't even know that happened. So you couldn't have been with her 24/7, and I just got through saying that. You can't tell these people what they ain't seen. They was dealing with R. Kelly on a day-to-day basis. You can't. And instead of trying to worry about, first of all, Aaliyah, and I love Aaliyah. I was one of her biggest fans, and still am. I love her music. I loved her choreography. I was in the middle of the table, middle of the floor, doing our dances. All of it, 1 in a million, hot like fight, all that. I was killing it. But at the end of the day, It was rape. That man was 27 and she was 15. Statutory rape. Period. Period. And at the end of the day, Aaliyah is dead. May her soul rest in peace. But she is dead. It ain't no tarnishing her legacy. People listening to her music right now today, they ain't selling it no more. Cause I've been looking for it for a while. And they don't stream it like that on everything. But that's neither here nor there. But ain't she Aaliyah the person can't lose nothing from these reports. This ain't got nothing to do with her other than the fact that to prove that he been a pedophile since the jump. So in regards to Aaliyah parents, they need to have several seats. If anything, they ain't doing nothing but perpetuating the idea that it was okay, the stuff that he was doing. Period. And it's not. I don't care what he did for your daughter. He wrote that song, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, for Aaliyah. I wonder why. Because he was getting what he wanted in the age that he shouldn't have been with her, and he ain't wanted to be nothing but a number. Come on now, it's like, it's just sad. And again, I'm a fan of R. Kelly, but I am not a fan of Robert the Man having these sex slave homes and imprisoning these girls. Come on now. And then he gonna do the interview right after the trial, talking about some. And the guy asked him, "Do you like teenage girls?" First thing he said, "When you say teenage, how old are you talking?" It's not even funny. It's just, come on. But that's the world we live in today. And I was looking at some statistics because the last episode aired last night. His streaming has went up since this, and I was saying from the jump that this ain't gonna do nothing but make people go get his music even more, because they making him relevant by doing this for this long. It was a 3-night event. It was a 3-night demonstration of this documentary, and they was going and hitting them. So I can't stunt because I went and was listening and singing it earlier today, because you can't deny the music. And I wouldn't be surprised if R. Kelly came right behind this and dropped the album to try to get some more money and get some more hearts and get some more fans. But it's just sad, and I honestly hope that he seek out the help that he need. I do hope that some of these girls get the justice, their families get the justice that they are due and owed because of what he has taken away from their children. And I hope this just sends a message to the world that we need to take rape and of all forms, slavery, oppression, all of this control, all of that seriously, especially in the Black community, because it's so taboo to talk about mental illness and sexuality and all of that in the Black community. We don't acknowledge it. We just don't. And it's very, very relevant and prevalent in our community. This man needs help, and he been needing it. But we don't want to put labels. And not R. Kelly, not the icon, not the man from Chicago who killing it, and who we did our, stepping in the lane with love to at our wedding and at our anniversaries, or not the man who made the song I Believe I Can Fly, where my grandbaby sang that at their graduation. No, it can't be him, because we take so much, positivity from his music, and then just as a culture, we naturally forgive, because we're taught that forgiving is of God in the Black family, especially Black Christian families. So we forgive him of all of those bad things that he's done, and congratulate him on the good things, because it's just another Black person making it. And I congratulate him on making it, but you gotta be a man and make grown man decisions and not rape kids. Sorry. Just like Bill Cosby, I was very, 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 very hurt, that, so many of us, our families grew up watching him and becoming, we used his family and his show as the white picket fence, as a Black picket fence, so to speak, stating that we can do this and we can make it. You got a lawyer and a doctor raising kids and being successful. That's iconic for us. And his show lasted for a very long time and it motivated so many black families. But at the same time, to see all those women come forth and say that he was doing the things he was doing to them, you cannot overlook that. And it's unfortunate that this is gonna forever overcloud his career and R. Kelly's remarkable career and all their accomplishments and how iconic and legendary they may be. But this is the price you run, and then in general, you just expect more from your famous public figures. You gotta make better choices. Everything you do is being scrutinized. Everything you do is being looked at. Everything you do is being reviewed. Hence this video. And we just expect more, and it's unfair, but that's the price you pay when you become famous, period. But again, my heart goes out to those families. I hope those girls get out of there. Some of the girls, it was stated that some of the girls was trying to escape and couldn't get out. Families can't get in contact with them. It's just a whole mess. And after this, I just hope that we wake up and R. Kelly gets help or jail time or both, and these girls get back to their lives, and we start teaching our kids and about self-worth, and just I hope it all work out. That's it for this video, y'all. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't give it a thumbs up, I'd highly appreciate it. And remember, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll be back with y'all later.